Jamaicans were way more accepted than Africans were. When I come to Ghana and I say my name, they say, pardon? You should keep your culture. You should. If I'm going to be very honest, and some of you are not going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it right. Points where it has become an English name. I didn't even know that's what you're saying. Is that what you're saying? Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so today I want to touch on a video that I saw from the president. I thought it was a very, very interesting video where he was talking about holding on to your culture and your heritage. And anyway, before I say too much, I just want us to watch the video together and you let me know what you think, okay?
My little sister asked me, how do we maintain our heritage even when we're in the diaspora? I don't think you need lessons from me. What I saw here today, you should be teaching me how to maintain our heritage back at home. I mean, what I saw here today, it was a wonderful spectacle. And I just want to commend you. In many cases, when modernization takes place, we demonize our culture and our values. And we want to behave more like the foreign influence that we are being exposed to. But I believe that we are defined by our culture. We are who we are because of our cultural identity. And so wherever you go, be proud to be an African. Be proud to be a Ghanaian. You know, one of the things everybody says about Kofi Annan, he was one of the longest Ghanaians who stayed in the diaspora. It didn't change his accent. Today, somebody comes to America for 4 weeks. Can you take me to Kokomlemle? Can you take me to Kokomlemle? Where is Kokomlemle? We have Kokomlemle and Adabraka, not Adabraka.
So I thought the video was very, very interesting. Now, while I agree with what was said, I feel like the issue goes a lot deeper than that, okay? It's not as surface level as that. And this is a very interesting video to do because there's going to be so many different schools of thoughts on it, right? So let me speak for myself and my experiences because I know that some of you are going to be like, well, as for me, I didn't have that experience. Okay, you didn't have that experience. That's amazing. But for some of us, we had that experience, right? For a lot of us so I'm Ghanaian, right? Both my parents are Ghanaian, but I was raised in the UK. Now, when I went to school in the UK, I mean, it wasn't really cool to be from Africa. It wasn't cool to be Ghanaian. Do you know what I'm saying? It was a very different time. It was a very different generation, I guess. And honestly, a lot of people used to mistake me for being Jamaican. And when they did, I was like, hey, that's cool. Because it was almost like it was more acceptable to be Jamaican than it was to be Ghanaian. And even though now we know that Jamaica and Ghana, you know, like we have connections, right? We're not too far apart. It was very, very different. Like Jamaicans were way more accepted than Africans were. And so people would mistaken me for Jamaicans. I don't know. There's something about Jamaica that I really, really love. Sometimes I wonder if I have some Jamaican DNA in me somewhere, but both my parents are Ghanaian, but maybe somewhere back. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it wasn't the thing, right? To be Ghanaian was not cool. And I remember when I was in school, you'd notice like when someone new starts school, right? There would be a new kid in school and you knew that they were African, but instead of there being this thing where you would embrace the person because you thought, oh, they're from Ghana, let me just, let me embrace them, or they're from Africa, let me help them. It'll be like, oh no, please don't connect me to this person. It's like, I need to save myself. It was very much like, you might not like what I'm saying, but it's the truth, right? It was very much like, oh no, please don't let that person sit next to me because otherwise I'm not going to be associated with me. Why everybody's laughing, they're going to laugh at me too. It was that kind of culture. That's how things were back then. And if that wasn't for you, that's amazing. But for me and the people that I know, that's kind of like how it was, right? It was like that. So it was a very, very different time. And so things are just very, very different. Even when it comes to my name, it if I tell you, right, so my name is Dela, right? And I've grown up my whole life in the UK, and my name is Dela. People know me, my name is Dela, right? And so when I come to Ghana and I say my name, they say, pardon? What did you say? And then they want me to repeat it. They don't want me to read because they didn't hear what I said. They want me to repeat it so they can laugh at me, because you know what? That's not how you say my name. My name is pronounced Dela. That's how you say it. But there was no way in the world that I was going to be in the UK and say to everyone, oh, my name is Dela. Because it's almost like you have to almost sing it, right? And how many people can do that? And so there's no way I was going to. So anyway, to be honest with you, for me, I didn't know my name to be anything different. I knew my parents would say my name and say my name the right way, Dela. But I was never corrected when I was out in public to say it any different. So it was always Dela. Even I even give you this, right? Even the new one, right? That I noticed, like this was just some years, when I first moved to Ghana, right? I was like, oh yeah. They were like, where your parents from? I'll be like, oh, Kita. They'll be, huh? Kita. That's not how you say it. And I didn't know. Keta. You mean your parents are from Keta? Yeah. But I didn't know that that's how you say it. So there's like so many words that we don't say the right way to make it easier for people. And we've just become accustomed to doing that. And I'll tell you this, for a lot of us, there has been a lot of trauma associated with our accent, how we say things, people's understanding of how we're saying things. You know, I'll give my partner, for example, right? He was born in Ghana. He left here when he was 13 and went to America. He could tell you story after story after story after story, like how people would just make fun of him because of his accent, how he said things, his understanding of things. And to him, going from Ghana to America, he didn't know that he was different. He knew that he was from Ghana, but he didn't know that there is a difference amongst black people. He just thought he's going to another place with black people. He didn't even know. He's not even really aware that he has an accent that people could potentially make fun of. He's just being him. And a lot of people had that same experience where, you know, they go from Ghana and move to the West, to America or UK, whatever, and they have their accents. They have these very strong, thick accents, and people can't understand what they're saying. And let me even tell you this, right? So when I went to the States, even this trip, right, a lot of the time people can't understand what I'm saying. And even though I'm not even speaking fast, because I try to slow it down sometimes, they still like, pardon? And I'm like, you can't, I'm speaking English, you can't understand what I'm saying. And a lot of people can't. And so sometimes Biggs has to step in and tell them what I said. And it's so funny to me. I mean, I laugh and I think it's funny. So I'll give you this example. So one day we went to go buy these cinnamon sticks, these pretzel cinnamon sticks, right? And I said to the lady behind the counter, I said, oh, are they hot? She's like, huh? I said, are the pretzels hot? And she just looked at me like, she was just like looking through me and she couldn't understand a word I was saying. So I had to turn to Biggs and I was like, can you tell her what I said, please? And then he repeats it and then she's like, oh! And then finally she understands it. And I'm like, I mean, it's a UK accent. You don't understand it. But honestly speaking, some of the places that I went to, people wouldn't understand what I was saying. Like, I have to really slow it down and be very, very careful. And so you can imagine a Ghanaian going to America, trying to say what they're trying to say, with an accent. It can be very difficult. So the reality is a lot of people would try to switch over very quickly so that they could fit in. And so they didn't have to repeat themselves 100 times, because I'm not going to lie to you. Repeating yourself many times, it can be frustrating. It's almost like sometimes I'm like, it's okay, don't worry. And I have done that a few times when I was in the States. I'm like, it's okay, don't worry, it's okay. Because I can't be bothered to repeat it for the 5th time. You didn't understand me. I'm like, unless I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper for you, it's like, it's okay. It doesn't matter. No problem. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like people are not understanding. So there's that frustration, and I can understand that frustration. So that's why I'm saying that it's all good what the president is saying, but there's another layer to it. It's not like that. And like I said, many of us have suffered traumas where we've been teased and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that because of that, because people can't understand you means that you should lose your accent, try and get rid of your accent. That is not what I'm saying. And I have to put the disclaimer in, because some of you like to come, you should keep your culture. You should. please, listen, right? We're talking about realities here, okay? And this video is kind of difficult to do because the audience I have is going to be very mixed, right? I have people who are repatriated to Ghana, or I have people who are watching that are from the diaspora that are only just now getting their connections, so they don't have certain experiences, right? You don't. So when you see Africa, you're like, oh, I love the accent, I love all this. But for some of us, we have traumas that are linked to that. And so, you know, for us, you know, it's like, it's not that we even want to switch out our accents. We're just very aware of how we speak. And so, like I say, it's a very difficult video to do because I'm going to have people with different schools of thoughts on it. And I have to say again, I am not saying get rid of your accent so the Western world can understand you. That's not what I'm saying at all. So please hear me. I'm just saying, I'm explaining that there's a reason. I understand the reason behind why some people don't want to hold on to their accent, or why some people have had certain experiences and feel some type of way about certain things. You know, the president highlighted that Kofi Annan was, you know, one Ghanaian who spent the longest time in the diaspora and never lost his accent. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I really do. It's amazing. And I remember when I went to look at this video, I found it on Instagram and I looked at the comment section, and there's one particular comment that jumped out to me where someone was saying that their dads always taught them that they should hold on to their accents, right? And try to hold on to their accents for as long as possible. And they never really understood it until now. And I feel like now the world is changing a lot more, right? The world is now becoming accepting of different cultures, different accents. People are more open to appreciating other things, you know? And I saw this thing some years ago, right? Where it was like, you know, like how I was saying about my name and people can't pronounce my name. And so I was in the UK and I'd tell people that my name is Dela, but that's how I thought my name, I actually thought my name was just pronounced Dela, right? It's like, if people can learn to say Arnold Schwarzenegger, they can learn to say your African name. So in that sense, I don't think we should shy away from how we pronounce our names. I think we should be pronouncing our names in the right way. It's like, it's such a fine line between how we pronounce things and, you know, it's very difficult. I can definitely appreciate both sides of the scale, you know. You want to hold on to your heritage, but, you know, like, it's very early days. It's very, very early days of people being accepting of different cultures. And if I'm going to be very honest, and some of you are not going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it right. A lot of the time when those of us that have thick accents from Africa go abroad to the West, right, people think that we're stupid. They think that we're thick. We don't understand things. And that's the truth. You may not want to agree with me, but it's the truth. Sometimes people think that because we have an accent, we have some type of lower intelligence, which is obviously not true. But that's how some people think, right? Society is very, very backwards. And I feel like, and I'll say again, I agree with what the president says. We should love our culture. We should hold on to it. But when it comes to accents, it's difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible and you shouldn't do it, but I'm saying it's difficult, and I understand why people don't necessarily always want to hold on to their accents, or they want to have the ability to switch from, you know, having your Ghanaian accent to having your British accent or your American accent. I understand why people want to do that, because for one, it's easier for people to understand you, I guess, and also because it makes it easier for you to fit in. You know, like I said, school days were tough. Like, there was a lot of the times. I remember even when I went to school, we used to go to school, right? My mum would always put my hair in threads. Lord, I was like, does this woman want me to be tortured? And you know how hard it was to go to school with threads. I'm not talking about, it was okay. I didn't mind when she did the threads where she would braid it, right? So you have, if you know about threading, right? So you'd have the black thread. She would wash my hair on a Sunday, right? And she would put the threads on it, and then she would plait it with the thread, right? Because it would last long. And I understood why now I can appreciate why she did it, because she's going to work. Like, ain't nobody got time to be doing someone's hair every morning and all that stuff. That one I didn't mind when she plaited it. But when she did the threads, the round one, so you have the, you know, that. Do you know how torturous that was for me going to school? Not that it would be sticking up. She'll do it and then she'll tie it all back in one. But do you know what kind of trauma I held from that? And that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of trauma that people were carrying. those people that came from Ghana or Africa and had to go to the West to start school or whatever, there are things that, you know, some of us might need some small therapy somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But as I said, society is changing. People are becoming more accepting of cultures, accents, and all of that. So I'm not saying get rid of your accent. Hold on to your accent. You should hold on to your accent. There's nothing wrong with having an accent, but it is still very early days, and I don't think it's as black and white as what the president was saying. You know, just hold on to your accent. You know, even look at it the other way around. It's just something that people do, right? That is another point. It's just something that people do. How many people from America or UK come to Ghana and switch your accent and try to do a Ghanaian accent? Many of you do it. Many of you do it. And why do you do it? You do it so people can understand you better. You do it so that you have better power of negotiation, right? Because you know that if you go with your straight shot accent, your straight shot American accent, you will be cheated. So you try to mask it as much as possible so that you can get better deals for yourself. So it's not just that you're ashamed of where you come from or whatever. Sometimes it's just so that you can fit in. We're all doing it in some aspect. So a lot of you do it. So before you jump and judge and start typing in the comments, as for me, if I was you, I would keep my African accent and I would. Great, that's wonderful. Do it. But you're also doing it. You're doing the same thing when you come from America, you come from UK, you come here, you switch your accent as much as possible to have a Ghanaian accent so that you can fit in. Some of the words you can't even say without having an accent because it's difficult. Say like my name, like I don't know, what's your name? Dela. You have to have the accent before you can say it. You can't just say it. Like, you need the accent to help you say it. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's some names that I've heard. I'm like, is that the name that, like, I didn't even know it's a Ghanaian name you're saying. You have brothalized the name to the point where it has become an English name. I didn't even know that's what you're saying. Is that what you're saying? I remember this surname that I heard, right? The person's name was Kofi and T, right? And I didn't know that that's what he was saying because when I was in the UK, he used to say, yeah, my name is Kofi. And it sounded like he was saying auntie. And so I was like, and so anyway, he had this joke where he used to call himself like coffee. It was like coffee and tea, you know, like drinking coffee and tea, but that was his name. But and I didn't understand that it was a Ghanaian name that he was saying, but he had brothalized it so much. It was like, yes, my name is Coffee and Tea. And I didn't even know there was a Ghanaian name until I heard it later. Coffee and, I can't even say it. So your name is Kofi. So it's coffee. So the coffee that you are saying is become, I'm even confused, I can't even say it. So the name that he's saying, instead of saying, my name is Kofi, he's saying coffee. Your name is Kofi. Oh, it's Kofi. Like, I didn't understand because so many of us have brothalized our names. And if you're Ghanaian, you may not understand, unless you're Ghanaian, sometimes you may not understand some of the things I'm saying. But it was like the way that people would switch their names so that it sounded different, it sounded more westernized. It's just funny. Looking back at it now, it's funny. But anyway, I'm interested to know what you guys think about what I've said. I guess there's so much more that I could say, but, you know, we'll just leave it there. I just think it's not a black and white situation. I feel like it's still very early for society to... I feel like Africa is still opening up to the world, and the world is still not taking Africa seriously, right? There's still that stigma of we're not as smart as people from the West. And it's wrong. It's very, very wrong. But, you know, that's the reality of it. Hey, agree with me, don't agree with me. Hey, we're still going to live another day. So, you know. Anyways, let me know what you think of in the comment section. I am going to try my best to put a poll, because you can put polls on videos now, right? I'm going to try my best to see if I can put a poll in here. And I would love to know if you are from America or from the UK or somewhere in the West and you come to Ghana and you switch your accent over to have a Ghanaian accent. I want to hear from you if you do that. Because I know watching this video, so many people are going to be like, oh, you shouldn't switch your accent when you go abroad. You shouldn't switch your accent. But you know what? They do it the other way around too. And I think it's more of a common thing that people do than they realize. And so I want to hear from you. So I'm going to do my best to put a poll in the comment section. So you can answer the poll. If I can't put the poll in, then you can put a comment into the comment section and let me hear from you. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I've said. Let me know what you think about what the president said, if you agree with him, or do you think there's more to it? Let me hear from you. Okay, so I'm going to end the video right there. If you would like to do a one-to-one consultation with me about moving to Ghana, send me an email to dela@moretodela.com. If you are also moving to Ghana and you would like a soft landing and you're looking for a place to stay, I have 2 one-bedroom apartments that are available for rent, either short-term or long-term stay. You can reach out to me on the same email address. If you would like to purchase some of my whipped shea butter, you can purchase online at www.fafabydela.com, or you can send me an email. If you go to the website, I haven't as yet, as I speak right now, set up payments for it to be delivered to the UK yet. I'm still working on that. But if you're in America, I have product in America and I have product here in Ghana too. We can easily have that arranged for you if you'd like to support and purchase some. Okay. Anyway, that's where I'm leaving the video. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, I am out. Nutifafa.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of